holding our hands up high. I am just hoping that now we don't run into any more problems. We do get kicked out again, man. Really, game? I cannot. Yeah. God's sake, I cannot with No, he hasn't won it. He hasn't won it yet. They haven't done 36 laps. They haven't done 36 laps. It hasn't occurred. It hasn't occurred. How are we this buggy? Honestly. Session expired. Oh, join group. Right, we're back in once again. Rick in the pits, as I kind of came back to. Aero Blake kind of actually catching up to Mr. Cookie, like, considerably as well. So, Aero Blake now just 1.1 seconds off, but with a penalty, probably 3 seconds. Our Henson is now kind of catching up to the back of Hazard. However, I think he's got a little bit of a more of a problem with Mr. J-Horse, who's managed to get past and might even, he had a little look to go for Hazard, but he's got very, very good pace, and I think he could possibly get a double overtake done here. So they run down into turn one. He goes, he does a little switch to the outside of the track, gets the late brakes in. J-Horse moves up to P2 after Aero Blake came into pit. So J-Horse up to P2 already, absolutely nailing his speed, and he's made a stop because he made that stop right at the start of the Grand Prix. Obviously the tyres can't go. They physically cannot go the entire way, right? We're well aware of this, that 12 lap old tyres have still got to do another like 17, 18 laps. We got a yellow flag in sector 1. That's Mr. Scotty, who's out. This could be absolutely massive. Could this cause a safety car perhaps? Let's have a little look. No, Scotty is driving at the moment still, so that was a choice retirement. Now he's stopped on track. Is that going to cause anything? It is not. So Severe Scott is going to carry on for Scotty. We're going to go back to green flag racing. So not much has changed. Other than Mr. Cookie is currently getting, I guess, moderately hunted by J-Horse. I mean, J-Horse has caught time already and has completely dropped, he has absolutely dropped the guns on Hazard. He's absolutely flown away. That is really, really strong pace from him at the moment. Our Henson on also 13 lap old tyres, but on hards rather than mediums. There's a yellow flag in sector 3 there, and that is Mr. Rick that stopped on track. He's not out. He's had a little spin, I'm pretty certain, and he is going again, but that demotes him back down to the bottom of the grid. I think I've promoted a couple of drivers here, obviously including one's self. But looking back up to the top of the grid, Mr. Cookie still leading, and now beginning to sort of hold this gap a little bit better. It's now just sort of sitting around 5.5 seconds, a bit more comfortably. Although I say that and it is rapidly dropping. What on earth did Mr. Cookie do here to cause it to slow down quite that much? Hazard's in trouble though. Our Henson is going to dip to the inside, but he won't have the inside line, and oh, Hazard's had to take a cut there. So I don't know whether our Henson will have to give that position back or not, you know. Look, Chaz Knight Rider has had to he's just overtaken Mr. Aero Blake. No, sorry, he's overtaken Lifebout, who's come into the pits. He's fitting a new front wing. And he goes once again. Here is Mr. Severe Scott, having a big collision with Jimmy Jags there. Not what you want to see. That is the last thing you ever want to see. There is Jimmy Jags running cleanly. He has got DRS, which means he's probably got quite a low chance of... Oh, okay, we have. Is that a possible? It's a VSC. I don't know what it's been caused by. What I do know is I have made moves here because Rick has come into the pits and I've gotten past Jimmy Jags. Result. So J-Horse has... What I said that Mr. Cookie had stabilised the attack of J-Horse. I was clearly lying because it's now 3 seconds and Mr. Cookie has clearly clocked this. But so has J-Horse. They've both come into the pit lane. I mean, J-Horse is there. That is J-Horse. This man was last 15 laps ago. 16 laps ago. But we are now back under green flag racing, even if we do have a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. But people read the VSC and decided to go for it, and I don't blame them. Mr. Cookie will probably want to try and beat a couple of these people out. He has managed to do a couple of them here. He's actually only got one to go, and that is Aero Blake, who is on a fresh medium tyre. So I think he's probably just going to run with Aero Blake for some time. However, J-Horse wasn't quite so lucky. He's got Chaz Knight Rider and Calfjack to get past before he can then go back to hunting down Mr. Cookie. So that is really great tactical moves from Mr. Cookie there, whether he was expecting it or not. It's giving him a couple of seconds respite, and it really could be the difference between him winning or losing this race. However, if J-Horse continues his sort of front attack like he was before, I can't see J-Horse not overtaking in the near future. Never Fear Andy's hit right on the back of his teammate as well. Just thought I'd throw that out there. He's doing an absolutely stellar job at the moment. He's on 15-lap-old hards. Other people in some pretty close contention battles. It is Chaz Knight Rider versus Calf Jack at the moment. It is the McLaren versus the Mercedes. Once friends, not so much anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. Aero Blake sets the fastest time of a 1:13.6 as Chaz Knight Rider is going to concede the position to J-Horse. So J-Horse has knocked one down. One to go. Chaz Knight Rider was on 16-lap-old hard, same as Never Fear Andy's here, whereas Calf Jack is on 15-lap-old mediums. How much of a difference that's going to make, I'm not all that sure. However, can Calf Jack make this difficult for J-Horse, or is it going to be just a walk in the park? Either way though, once J-Horse is passed, he's still going to have to pick up a 3-second deficit that Mr. Cookie has now pulled away to Calf Jack, and he's now right on the back of Aero Blake. So I'm going to have to try and watch both of these fights because I think both of them can get done on this straight. Although Aero Blake sort of looks in a bit more of a comfortable position now. It's a yellow flag in sector 3. Is J-Horse going to have to concede the position that he just made, that I just missed? No, he's not. Calf Jack launches himself into the pit lane anyway, so good luck doing that. And J-Horse moves up to P4. Just 3 seconds behind Aero Blake. And who has just managed to get past Mr... No. Aero Blake has just conceded the position to Mr. Cookie. So with penalties now beginning to rack up, J-Horse has also picked up a penalty. Unfortunately for him, that is going to put his ability to win this race at a bit more of a challenge. In other news, we're currently sat P13, nothing short of all by ourselves. We've got a car 2 seconds in front and 6 seconds behind. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, that is Jack Alakalo out, and that is full course yellow. Is it a VSC or is it a safety? It's a safety car. Safety car deployed. Mr. Cookie elects not to pit. Our Henson does. So does Aero Blake. Neither J-Horse doesn't. Chaz Knight Rider obviously going to come in, and so will Never Fear Andy's here. Undoubtedly the correct option for them. Aero Blake fitting fresh softs to the end. And oh no, he's caught up his teammate Chaz Knight Rider, who's going to have to go slowly. who's going for a set of medium tyres. So a change in team tactics there. Oh, Henson is going to come out in P3. He's on medium tyres. Hazard's going to be P4 on 3-lap-old hards. And Aeroblake has gone for a fresh set of softs. The same as Lifebound. We haven't caught up to them yet, so I don't know whether we're going to capitalise on anything or not. But if I get a point, if I get a point, a single point, we're not even playing the game. That's all you're ever going to hear from me. Oh, so pit stop for characteristics. He's gone onto a fresh set of medium tyres and will come out P13. However, at the back of the grid, he's got Pole and Jimmy Jones and Severe Scott really around him. Could be a decent fight. That is a joke, honestly. He should finish last. He shouldn't finish anywhere other than last. He'd probably get disqualified. I would probably get disqualified from this race. So with quite a few cars yet to come round, it is going to be a little while until we actually get ready. It's going to be me that lines the back of the grid because Severe Scott is actually here. He's been lapped by a couple of people, which makes it incredibly difficult for me to lose this race unless I'm really slow. I don't know what I don't know what level AI we have. We might have like 60, 70 AI. I've got no idea, but he's doing well at the moment. But I would expect him to be dead last and lapped twice by now, you know. But unfortunately, Severe Scott has been lapped, and that's going to put him at a real big disadvantage here because now this is essentially giving myself, Pole, Jimmy Jags, real good opportunities because these boys didn't quite catch us. You know, they didn't quite catch up to us. So we're set, honestly. So it's really unfortunate for Severe Scott. He's in a really rubbish position, and I do feel for him. But that means we're not coming last, boys. Let's go. I know I'm not supposed to be biased, but I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to be biased to myself. You know, it's myself after all. I think I'm allowed to have a little bit of bias for myself. So with just two people left to catch up. Alrighty, safety car is in this lap. We get ready to go racing once again. Mr. Cookie once again leading, however, it's not what he'd have liked to see. That 3-second deficit is now reduced to just half a second, 4 tenths now. We are not under green flag racing just yet. It is completely up to Mr. Cookie as to when we go. But it's up to the front line as to when we decide to go green. It is a pretty decent start from him. It's going to be a 7/10 gap off of the start-finish line. So that is absolutely ideal for him. And all these two are going to go side by side. The Aston Martin is going to lose a position. Had a little look on the switchback. Does get it wide open. However, I think that's going to open up an opportunity for the Mercedes to get up on the inside of him. Doesn't happen though, luckily for him. Castrack isn't quite able to capitalise on the way he wanted. However, Chaz Knight Rider right behind him, absolutely maxing it out. Doesn't have the corner of his life. Does lose a little bit of time there. Never Fear Andy's here right behind as well. He's just a little lock up from him. Henson right on the back of J-Horse as well, who's not actually managing to keep up with Mr. Cookie at the moment on these hard tyres. So it's going to be our Henson that's going to look like the more likely, more damaging target to J-Horse at the moment, as Rick has managed to get himself past Never Fear Andy's here. Although they go in a complete and utter drag race at the moment, down towards the wall of champions. These two just bouting it out. They are side by side at the moment. One's on hard tyres, one's on mediums. They just continue side by side into the wall of champions they go. It is the Alfa Romeo. It is Rick that gets through in the end there. Aeroblake, unsurprisingly, picking up fastest lap so far, and all of a sudden what I was saying just moments ago is so not true anymore. J-Horse now just 2/4 of a second behind, just a little bit further back at times, you know. Although he's had a really good exit here, this might be a good opportunity for him to be possibly able to sneak past J-Horse, who hasn't had the best of exits. A little bit of gap opened up there between J-Horse and Mr. Cookie. However, unable to capitalise on it. However, the Williams, I can't see staying behind for much longer. He is in a really, really good sort of power-hungry mood at the moment. And these tyres might just be able to last. I mean, they're going to be broken at the end, but they might just do it. And J-Horse has a penalty as well, which isn't going to help him whatsoever. However, he nearly looked like he was going to go for a move then, didn't he? He looked like he was close. Henson though, terrible news for him. He picks up a 3-second time penalty, and so has Hazard in P5. So that is going to be the last thing he wants. And another man has joined this little fight. Aeroblake has hooked up onto the back. He's on the freshest. He is technically on the freshest set of tyres, equal to our Henson, but also on the softest compound. He is on the softs, whereas our Henson's on mediums, and Mr. Cookie and J-Horse are on the hards. So weirdly, it is the firmer, slower tyres in front at the moment, and the faster, softer tyres at the back. Shocker. But can Aeroblake make any use of this? Can he pick up a couple of positions? Can our Henson do the same on the medium tyres? Never Fear Andy's here, stopped on track at the moment, passed by myself, because he's had a really bad sort of struggle to get the car going again. He is now 3 seconds down to sort of anybody. Severe Scott, absolutely a long way off the pace at the moment. He's kind of just sort of sat in with everyone, just kind of trundling along. Mr. Cookie's going to be under a big threat here from J-Horse. It was close, but it didn't quite work. Our Henson does, of course, then lose a little bit of time, and I feel like he'd be severely looking back at that McLaren to see where he is and what he's trying to do. However, our Henson will want to try and get in up on this action, because if these two boys fight, he can clutch up and absolutely smoke them. If they have a bit of an error going together, game over for them. Our Henson can just swoop in on the softer, fresher tyres, and all of a sudden just use that, maximise that speed and that extra power and extra grip that they'll give you, and just get out of the corner a little bit quicker and absolutely fly. I feel like that could definitely happen if Mr. Cookie and J-Horse go bout to bout. Aeroblake right on the back of our Henson. Our Henson, equal distance between J-Horse and Mr. Cookie. However, J-Horse just gets the exit of his life. He's going to have to go to the outside, but I don't think that's particularly going to matter. He is passed before they even hit the wall of champions. and not even that, seconds before they hit the wall of champions. It was an absolutely landslide move by J-Horse there. He's gotten the move done in the fastest lap of the race. J-Horse moves up into the lead of the race on lap 26 of 35. Other than that though, Mr. Cookie's going to want to try and retain that gap, though it is quite high at the moment. He can sort of begin to bring it down with the big long DRS zones that he has available to him across the lap, 3 of them of course, and actually only 2 activation points, as you'll be able to see on the map. The yellow one calls the end of that DRS zone. Actually no, that calls the end of the safety car. So Mr. Cookie will probably want to be trying to crunch down a bit of time. Now heading into the hairpin, 6/10 down. These boys have split up a little bit. They're not quite running in that half a second gap like they were before. But J-Horse just exhibiting immense acceleration out of that hairpin. For some reason, he has just got absolute enormous amount of grip as he exits that corner, and now just trying to use a bit of ERS to stay in front. Aeroblake has snuck it past R. Henson. I didn't even realise they were that close, but R. Henson desperate to try and get back. Mr. Cookie now looking less and less likely to pick up DRS in this lap, and now with a 3-second time penalty, it could be done and dusted for Mr. Cookie. Well, after such a promising lead of this race so far, no, he has managed to get a brilliant chicane there. Dropped half a second to J-Horse. Picked it up nicely, and that's pretty much minimised damages here. In fact, if he gets a decent enough exit, if he can learn what J-Horse is doing and get the exit of his dreams here at the chicane, I don't think he's quite got it, but it is a pretty decent exit, you know. Not too much time lost. He might be able to open his DRS and get a move down into turn 1 here. I doubt he's going to get anything done into the wall of champions, but he might just be able to manage it. No, the time just hasn't crunched down for him. In fact, it's Aeroblake that's beginning to crunch down on him, and R. Henson that's desperately trying to stay in this DRS right now. And after all, that is the most important thing at the moment, is the DRS. Without it, some of these drivers are absolutely done for at the moment. I mean, without DRS at the moment, Mr. Cookie would be completely and utterly dropped by J-Horse, I'm pretty certain of it. In some corners, J-Horse has pulled away half a second. I know Mr. Cookie got that half a second helping hand last time round, but that's not going to happen every time. He is going to gain some time through it again though, but loses it on the exit once again. DRS wide open as well, but it's just not doing stuff for Mr. Cookie. He's not being able to catch up to J-Horse. DRS just not being all that effective. Although, what on earth has happened here? J-Horse has spun and hit the wall. J-Horse moves down to P5 after that collision. That puts a yellow flag out in sector 2 and 3. So the man leading the race now falls all the way down to P6 after getting overtaken by Hazard. That re-promotes Mr. Cookie up into the lead of the race, and Aeroblake is now fighting for a win rather than P2. He is on soft tyres though, so I don't think he can go to the end of this race. He has got to do another 8 laps on these tyres. They'll be absolutely shredded by the time he gets to them, but the hard tyres are going to be on 20 laps as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what on earth happens here. It's going to be 17 lap old softs versus 17 lap old mediums versus 20 lap old hards. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it is looking exciting to say the least. Pole has had to come into the pits. J-Horse hasn't come into the pits, so he's obviously not picked up damage. He has just spun around, but that has pretty much wiped away his chances of winning a race that he very, very, very easily could have won if he had have just stomped down on the power here and there. And oh my god, I'm in the points. Oh my god, I'm in the points. Oh, defend for your life, please. Oh, I've lost it. I'm out of the points. Oh no, I'm back in. I'm sorry, right now this is looking far more entertaining. Oh, it's died down now. I'm P10 at the moment. Boys, I could be on for a win. I mean, it's not a win, but it's a win in my book, you know. Although pole is flying. Pole is flying right now, and never fear Andy Z is having him there. Pole is flying, he's 7 seconds back. J-Horse has managed to get the position back on Hazard, and Aero Blake is closer to Mr. Cookie than ever, but those soft tyres I just can't see lasting. The mediums will do it, but those softs, they're not going to manage it. He's desperately in need of a final safety car for everyone to pit onto a fresh set of soft tyres and just do like a 5-lap bout. Unfortunately though, I just cannot see it happening, you know. As, oh my god, I'm going to have to hang on for my life here if I want to pick up points. Oh my good god. Pole is like catching me at a bad bout. That is... I'm so tense for the back of the grid. Why am I so tense? Hazard sticking with J-Horse. Not too bad actually. Our Henson right now closer to Aero Blake. Although that doesn't stay the case for particularly long. Mr. Cookie doesn't really have to worry about anything heading into the Wall of Champions, but into turn 1 could be a different story. No, it won't, I don't think. I can't see Aero Blake getting a move done, perhaps. No, he gets close, but can't quite get it done. Pole now 3 seconds off the back of me, so he will be confidently knocking me out of the points. So I'm pleased, anyone, if you want to be my favourite driver forever, crash, give me some points, please. Thank you. Much appreciated. Pole is going to have me in about half a lap. There, oh my god, yeah, that gap has closed quickly. Never Fear Andy's here has had probably one of the worst laps of his life. He's going so slowly, he must have some severe damage. And Severe Scott has now actually... Yeah, Pole has just set the fastest time of the race. Right, yeah, that was everything I needed to know. Pole has just gone fastest and will now overtake me for P10 into... It's like turn 1. He's got me at turn 1. Oh no, it's not, it's turn 4. Either way, I'm out the points, and that's really depressing. It's really depressing. But oh well, you know. In fact, actually, let's check race results and just make sure that it doesn't work differently in this race. Oh, what's happened? Why have we got a safety car? Who crashed out? I'm up to P10. Who crashed out? Why is Pole down? Why is Pole so far down? Why has Pole dropped time? What's happened? He hasn't got a front wing. Pole hasn't got a front wing, which has caused the safety car to come out. So what is going to happen at the front, ladies and gentlemen? Jimmy Jags has gone past Chaz Knight Rider. Jimmy Jags is P8 at the moment. Chaz Knight Rider's come into the pit lane. It is lap 32 of 35. What are the front runners going to do? Oh, right, okay, I'm P9. Chaz, Never Fear Andy's here, and Pole all on fresh softs behind me. Right, so there goes my points. J-Horse has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Oh, no, oh dear. Aero Blake has come into the pits, unsurprisingly. I wasn't expecting him to carry on, which means Rick promotes that position, and he goes up to P3. I'd say J-Horse has still got a good shout here, but he's got a drive-through penalty. So that's pretty much his chances of anything over. He might have actually had a shot there had he not have picked up that drive-through penalty. Our Henson right now is probably in one of the best positions, and so is Rick, because he hasn't got any penalties. And I am screwed. I'm going to come last. Severe Scott's pitted for fresh softs as well. I'm coming last. Oh no, he's like 40 seconds back. I'm coming last either way. Right. Alrighty, well, actually, safety car is in this lap right now. So we'll probably be pushing it? But no idea what's going on. Right, so Chaz has just absolutely dropped me. Either way, nevertheless, so they're on the green flag at the moment. They're racing. Which means I might actually have a shout here, because Never Fear Andy's has got to pull 20 seconds to me in, like, 2 laps. Either way, though, we get racing once again for the final 2 laps here at Canada. Mr. Cookie has gotten off to a really, really strong start. And Rick, right behind our Henson, has also gotten off to a really decent start here. J-Horse still out at the moment. And still does have that drive-through penalty. I'm going to start listing penalties instead of tyres. I feel like that's much more important here right now. Jimmy Jack's on 27 seconds of penalties as well. Not ideal for him at all whatsoever. Never Fear Andy's has pulled 10 seconds in the last lap. I'm totaled. I'm done. No. How are you so slow, AI? How are you so slow? Either way, Mr. Cookie has gotten off to an absolutely brilliant start. Our Henson and Rick have all spaced out pretty evenly. It's actually fights towards the mid-pack at the moment, which would be a little bit more interesting. In fact, the McLaren, I think, is going to get done here by the Aston Martin. However, he's done a little of a late break. He does keep the track position at the moment. It is going to be a drag race, but no, Aeroblake doesn't have the grip, and Hazard gets that move done here. In fact, yeah, oh my god, wow. I am surprised, to say the least, at how the times have sort of opened up. So, in goes J-Horse. So, he has decided to take his drive-through penalty on the final lap of the race. So, he just carries on straight through the pit lane. No stops, no nothing. He just continues on his way. Mr. Cookie is absolutely running away with this right now, which I'm pretty confident to say will mean that this will be his first ever win here in BRL. I'm pretty certain of it, but I do want to make sure, just to be certain. Race results, if you look, yeah. Well, it's definitely the first of this season, and I'm pretty sure it is his first ever win. I don't think he's ever won it. I think he's bottled it every time. But Rick, I feel like, has got a pretty decent chance here. Never Fear Andy's here has gone the fastest of everyone that lap. So he is now just 2 seconds behind me, but has got 6 seconds worth of penalties. So it could be a proper race to the very end there to see who's going to take that final points playing position. I'm pretty certain is how we do it just in normal terms anyway. Although, by the looks of it, we have an extended position. Oh no, we have it extended, so it goes all the way down to P14 that picks up points. Oh, lovely. Either way, what? He's done it on penalties. He's done it on penalties. Rick has won on penalties. Mr. Cookie's come second, 3/10 out. Oh no! Mr. Cookie! Mr. Cookie, no! I've lost that. Oh well. Mr. Cookie, no! But Rick's won it! He's done it! That's what happens when you don't get penalties. Even though you may not come theoretically first, you win it! Rick's won! Fair play, Rick. Rick VE17. He's got the letters the wrong way round. He picks up driver of the day as well after having a rather questionable start. All the way down in qualifying. But he's done it. The Alfa Romeos line up 1-2, and it was the one who nobody thought was going to take the win. Who has? Rick, ladies and gentlemen, wins in Canada. You know what though? In other news, P8 from P17. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know how I've done it, to be honest. But it's happened. Right, okay. So Rick has won, ladies and gentlemen, with Mr. Cookie in P2. Henson's come in P3 and Arrow Blake P4. Hazard P5 and Capjack P6. Chaz Knight Rider in P7. Myself in P8. J Horse in P9. Never Fear Andy's in P10. Jimmy Jags in P11 and Pole P12. Severe Scott P13. Lifebound P14. Jackaloo P15. Scotty and Smithy round out the back two. What was that race? Oh my god. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to start probably one of the best party chats I'm ever going to hear in my life. Start party, close party, create new group. We want Mr. We want Mr. Cookie. We want Rick. And we want our Henson. Let's bring him in. Crying in a corner. Alrighty, now we shall wait for them to join as we kind of look over what an absolutely mental race that was. Alrighty, hello.
Hi.
You know what? I usually start with P3, but I'm going to ignore that today. You won. How? Whoa. Right, okay. Yeah, emotions. What's happening?
Okay, so obviously I was lost and halfway through, and I think Jackalacko's safety car it really helped me get back into this,
Yeah.
and obviously having just two warnings from the entire race, just meaning I had no penalties,
Mm.
helped me so much in that.
Yeah. So, qualifying, wet quali. It was okay for you, wasn't it? You nicked P8 out of that, and then obviously kind of tragedy struck, fell to the back of the grids, and I mean, yeah, you've just pulled up really, really nicely there. Were you expecting, sort of, as those sort of the final two laps started, kind of what was your mindset? Were you going for the win, or were you going for second? What were you going for?
Try not to spin and do what you can, because I've had so many races where I've just binned it last laps and lost wins, and I took revenge this time. Although I do have to say, Mr. Cookie, I am sorry. Next time we're in this position, I will let you in. But I had to do it for the championship. This was a crucial time to unfortunately steal it off him.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I mean, it is still a very, very impressive win from you. And I mean, yeah, it was a pretty bonkers race, wasn't it, from start to
Yeah.
finish? Were you sort of, sort of seemed quite a while to think back, but when you were sort of right at the back, did you think you had any shot of really anything in this race?
No shot unless there was a safety car, which there was. But at the time, I didn't think there was going to be one.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's do our three-word race roundup because I need to hear these three. Three words to describe yours or the race in general.
I am speechless.
You know what? That is completely understandable. It's a super impressive win from you, and yeah, you should be very, very proud of it. Congratulations. And I mean, if you want to hang around and talk to them as well, especially who I'll talk to next, P2, Mr.
Sorry, mate.
Cookie. How are we feeling, Mr. Cookie?
Gutted.
Hmm?
I'm gonna be gutted for it. I'm really gutted with that. I
So,
should be happy,
yeah.
but I'm not.
So, Quali. It
I,
was. it was a bit of a Max Verstappen, bit of a Vettel qualifier from you. You got pole from the pits. Were you particularly happy with that? It's clearly you were confident with your lap to start off with.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking of going out again actually, but then I kind of looked and I was thinking, okay, it's full wet. I don't really think I can do much else. So pulled back into the pits. You actually saw me go out on my when there was like no time left as well. I was kind of just checking the conditions, seeing if it was any chance of people improving. But then as soon as I saw people on wets, I was just I was basically convinced then.
Yeah. So we start on the front row, and it was a good start, wasn't it? I mean, you pulled away nicely, and you generally sort of got some decent amount of pace. Sort of the most prolific rival sort of during the race, I'd probably say was J Horse, if you'd agree with me.
Yeah, it was either that or Aeroblake. I think probably the only other person that would kind of come close, besides J-Horse and Aeroblake, was kind of there. He kept a good gap, and whenever they may have made a mistake, he would be there to try and capitalise on it. So
Mm.
I always had to be wary of basically three drivers at that point.
Yeah, and obviously J Horse had a nightmare. He was leading the race at the point. When he did that, what was the confidence like? Because I'm guessing you were pretty confident in bringing home a win.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I was already quite confident, but I always had the nerves because every time I've normally done this, it's always ended either maybe a podium or just crashing out entirely. So it's all just that was all kind of in my head. I still wasn't really confident,
Mm.
and like it definitely helped. I think deal with it, but I think I then just had so much more pressure then, and yeah, I think it just makes it with that late safety car as well. That I think you'll probably get on to. I think this has made it even worse for me. Like I would have, I still would have taken a P2, but I think how it's happened is the worst feeling, probably.
Yeah. So obviously you had the late safety car came out, and you and pretty much all the other front runners, you stuck to your tyres, and you pulled a solid gap, and then 3/10. You
Yeah.
just to talk me through it.
Uh, I don't really know what else to say. There was only two laps, so I was just thinking, well, it's either somebody has to maybe hold Rick up, which I don't. I mean, I would have loved it, but the only problem is that yeah, that's my teammate. I don't think that really would have gone down well. Or if I was able to try and pull 2 more seconds, and I really did my best. I That was probably the best I've ever driven around Canada. To be honest, that was
Mm.
like on those tires and under that pressure. I think that was the best I've probably driven. But it's a shame it just wasn't quick enough in the last two laps. Big shame. Although I could probably tell that Rick is very happy, and I understand why. To be honest, I think it's probably one of his favourite tracks. I remember in another league that he basically just dominated the field. Really, I think he just knows the circuit inside out, and it's just a bit of a shame that I was that close to beating him on track, and then that kind of happens by a few
Mm.
tenths. So
Yeah.
it sucks, but I still have to move on from it. I don't think it's really going to change because I don't think he was involved in any incidents. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's a tough one to swallow. That is.
Yeah. So we'll keep you here, and we'll do your 3-word race roundup, which is
Okay.
just 3 words to describe your race and the race as a whole.
I think we were trying to do like start, middle to end here. So I think the start was okay. It's quite difficult to do this in 3 words. I'm gonna say probably cautious, excited, and then probably depression.
You,
It's just that very end that got me. That
you
did.
know what? Fair enough. It's all right if you stay here for a bit, because I want to do all 3 of you, and then I kind of want to do like a group chat about sort of like the couple of races ahead. So
Yeah, yeah, that's
if you
fine.
wanna stay here, and I will quickly chat to our P3. So we've actually gone in the complete opposite order than we normally do. P3, are you happy with the result? Yeah. But having a little look into your race in particular, it was pretty decent from you. Were you you happy with your performance as a whole? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the majority of it, you did sit sort of pretty much right next to Arab, like whether he was in front of you or behind you. You were either you were either behind Aero Blake or Mr. Cookie pretty much the entire time. And yeah, carry on. Mm. Yeah, the final safety car was caused by Pole's front wing being missing off of his Haas. Yeah, but
My teammate, he wants revenge.
um, so yeah, we'll grab your little three race word roundup. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on your podium, either way. And shall we all take a little look into the next couple of races? We've got Great Britain. Uh, who's a fan of the Silverstone track?
I mean, it's okay. I'm not. Yeah, it's not always in the top of my tracks, but last year I quite enjoyed it. Had some great battles, and I think I also scored a podium at the time as well. So I'm very happy with Silverstone as a whole. But I've not actually driven in this game that much, so I'll probably need to start getting on that.
Yeah, well, we've only got a week, so it'd be a good idea to get ourselves up to speed. Next up would be France, which I've always kind of seen a track that not many people are fans of. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
I'm not
There's
mad at
nothing
it.
really much else.
I'm all right
I'm
at
just,
it.
All right.
I just don't like it at
I
all.
I I won the DRS race, um, the Monday league we have. That should help.
Yeah, I've definitely got a feeling that France is definitely going to show some differences between what tracks people like and what tracks people don't. But after that, it is a track that most people do quite enjoy. Austria.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the track limits. I think that's the only thing that really gets me on the track.
Hmm.
It's I think it's just after sector two. It's the long left and then the tiny right. I think that and also the last few corners are really going to catch up people with warnings. So I think that and also I think the Austrian weather. Like in the game, I think I've had it rain so many times there. So if there is rain during the race, I don't really know how that's going to go, but I just hope I can keep it on the track. like I did this race, really.
Yeah. And yeah, go for it.
We didn't talk about that.
I'm in the exact same position as Henson. Even though I won the season finale at Austria last season, don't let that deceive you. I'm not good at Austria.
Okay.
I'm not good at Austria at all.
Okay, so maybe the confidence isn't quite there for possibly the next couple of races. There's only one thing that I'd like to keep you here for, and I just want a bit of appreciation that I can commentate and come P8 at the same time. I just think that's really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I
that's
really
brilliant.
appreciate that. But other than that, thank you all for joining me. Go and enjoy your wins and podiums, and I'll be seeing you all next week.
All right, thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care, mate.
And you. Alrighty, that about rounds us up for today. I do hope you've all enjoyed. Technical issues kind of at the start of the race, but you know what, we moved past those and it turned out to be a really, really good race. Other than that, I've been the Cast Statistics. Thank you all very much for watching.